We will continue with chapter number 3, Circle, in Maths 2. Till now, we have, let me go take you through the chapter. Till now, we have understood what a secant is, what a tangent is. For this year's content, that is, our content started here, secant, tangent. So a secant is any line which passes through the circle, and a tangent is any line which touches the circle. Another way we can say secant is any line which passes through 2 points on the circle, and tangent is any line which passes through only one line on the circle. After we understood what a secant is, tangent is, we looked at 3 theorems or 2 theorems. One is the tangent theorem, where the proof is not required for this year. We understood that the tangent is perpendicular to the radius of the circle at the point of contact. So in this diagram, this angle will be 90 degrees. This angle will be 90 degrees. And the converse of it, if there is a line which is perpendicular to the radius at the point of contact, then it is a tangent. Line perpendicular to a radius at its point on the circle is a tangent to the circle. Converse. Yes, this iska jo proof hai, yes, that is definitely part of the syllabus. Very easy. Then we understood about how many tangents we can draw. And we realized that if there is a point outside the circle, from that point, we can draw not one, but 2 tangents to the circle. And from there, we realized that both the tangents will be of the same length. The tangent segments from the point to the circle will be of the same length. So PD will be equal to QD. This was the first part of the new content for this chapter this year, circles. Tangent theorem, its converse, and tangent segment theorem. In the last class, we studied about touching circles. And we studied touching circles with respect to tangents and their centers. We realized that when the circles touch each other externally, or when they touch each other internally, there definitely is a tangent which is common to both the circles passing through the point of contact. Okay. We also understood, which is not there in the textbook yet, aage aayega, that in case the 2 circles touch each other externally, that is this figure, then we can have 2 more tangents common to them, one here above and one below. So if the circles touch each other externally, then there will be 3 common tangents. If the circles touch each other internally, there will be one and only one common tangent. From here, we also understood how the distance between the radii of the 2 circles are related to each other. Not distance between the 2 radius, the lengths of the radius, how are they related to the distance between the 2 centers. So here RS will be equal to RT plus TS, because RT and S are on the same line. Similarly, here on the right hand side, when the circles are touching each other internally, Mn, the distance between the 2 centers, will be Km minus Kn. So in one case, radius 1 plus radius 2. In the other case, it is radius 1 minus radius 2, bigger radius minus smaller radius. That will be the distance between the centers. And the theorem was about collinearity of the points. The 2 centers and the point which is common to them, where the point of contact, all the 3 points are good. There were 3 simple questions in the exercise, and question number 4 was medium difficulty question. Question number 5 was not difficult, but it required us to know a lot more than just circles and tangents. Today, we are on page number 59, and we are going to study about another part of the circle, which is called an arc. Remember, once again, I told you that circle is this round part. It's not what is inside, it's not what is outside. Just this line, black line, is the circle. And this circle is also called as the circumference. Circumference of a circular object or circumference of a circle. Arc, in a very, very simple way, arc is a part of a circle. Any part of a circle will be called as an arc. So this part, BX, can be called as an arc. AX can be called as an arc. AY can be called as an arc. BY is also an arc. Any part of the circle can be called as an arc. Arc is a part of a circle. So if we understand what a circle is, there is no problem understanding what an arc is. Spelling is ARC. The more traditional, technical, lamba definition of what an arc is, you don't need to remember, but what is given in the textbook is that if we have a, okay, you tell me this line K, what is this line? Can we have a special name for this line? Do we know what its name can be? Line K. In the diagram, we have a circle with center C. Prachi is saying we can call K as the chord. No, I'm talking about the line K. No, Prachi. Make your answer better. Correct. Make it correct. It's wrong now. Till now, we have only studied about two lines with respect to a circle. One is a tangent, one is a secant. It is one of those two lines. Is it a tangent or is it a secant? Yes, Prachi. Yes, Akhilesh. Now your answers are correct. It is a secant. It is a secant because it is passing through the circle. It is passing through 2 points on the circle. That is why K is a secant. So that very technical definition of the arc says that whenever we have a secant circle, right, then the secant divides the circle in 2 parts. And those 2 parts are arcs. So this AYB is an arc and AXB is another arc. And the arc AYB also includes point A and point B. ऐसा नहीं है कि point A और B arc का हिस्सा नहीं है, वो भी arc का हिस्सा. Similarly, for the arc AXB, both A and B are also part of the arc AXB. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम उसके end points को छोड़ देंगे. And these are, yes, these are also called the end points of the arcs. As we have end points of a line segment, we also have end points of arcs. So A and B are the end points. Just to make it very clear, this is how we write arc A by B and arc A B. A and B are the endpoints. These are endpoints. Now clearly we see one side, one part is bigger than the other part. You tell me which arc is bigger in this diagram. All of you have your textbooks. Which arc is bigger? Is it AYB or is it AXB?
AYB.
AYB is bigger. And because of that, AYB is called the major arc. Thank you, Shubham, for answering. AYB is called the major arc. Major means bada. Now you will be able to guess if AYB is called the major arc. Then clearly AXB will be called as minor arc. Now this is English. So whenever there is a secant passing through 2 points on the circle, whenever there is a secant to a circle, that secant will divide the circle into 2 arcs, major arc and minor arc. I'm going to draw something and I will ask you questions regarding that. What have I drawn? What is the name of this figure? Very simple. We are starting very simple. What is the name of this figure? Correct. It is a circle. What is the name of this point C? Center. It is called a center. Now be very careful while you are answering. Pay attention. I have drawn a line L. I have drawn a line L. Tell me, with respect to the circle, what is this line? Anushka is saying diameter. Akhilesh, Rajesh are saying it's a secant. Karina is saying it's a diameter. It is not a diameter. It is a secant. It is a secant. It is a secant because it is a line which passes through the circle. It is passing through 2 points on the circle. And if we name the 2 points as A and B, now if I ask you what is AB, then AB definitely is diameter. Please be careful about this terminology. A line with respect to a circle can be a tangent or a secant. Part of a secant can be a diameter. Anushka, Karina, is it clear? Okay. Now, let us put some more points to make things a little bit easy. Why? So we have a secant, and so we have 2 arcs, arc AXB and arc AYB. Can you tell me which arc is bigger, which arc is smaller, which is major, which is minor? What can I put in this figure? Are they, which is bigger, which is smaller? Shall I put a greater than symbol between them, less than symbol, or something else? They are equal. Very smart. That is the meaning of diameter. Diameter divides the circle in 2 equal halves. So now arc AXB is equal to the length of arc AXB is equal to the length of arc AYB. So be careful about this. Another question. Let me draw another circle. Now it is drawn in blue. It is drawn in blue. And we have 2 points on the circle. A, B. Okay. If I tell you arc AB, which arc is it? Arc AB. Is it the above arc or is it the below arc? Which arc am I referring to? Can you tell me? Above arc or the below arc? There is nothing, Chan, there is nothing as middle here. Prachi is saying both. अगर हमारा नाम ऐसा रहेगा कि एक से ज्यादा बच्चों का सेम नाम होगा तो कंफ्यूजन होगा. Similarly, अगर हम arc का नाम, if we give the name of the arc like this with just 2 letters, then it will be confusing. Confusing in the sense, now we don't know whether we are referring to this part or this part. That is why we will always try to name the arc with 3 alphabets, not just 2. So now it is clear, arc AXB is this one, and arc AYB is this. So whenever we are naming the arc, we will use 3 alphabets, not 2. This is the problem if we use only. Be very, very careful about this. If we had not used X and B, then maybe we could have said minor arc AB. So minor arc AB is AXB. Major arc AB, that would mean arc AYB. But why do that? Why confuse? Just use one more alphabet, make it 3 alphabets and name the arcs. Okay. Let us go back to the textbook. Or why do we need to go back to the textbook? You tell me. If I ask you how big an arc is, let us draw another circle. Again, drawing it with black. Let us show a center. When you draw this, you will use a rounder, and so it will be so much better. And we have a arc A and arc AXB, which is definitely the minor arc, and AYB, which is the major arc. Right? Now, if I ask you to tell me the measure of arc AXB, measure, क्या करोगे? मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, there are 2 ways to measure this. Textbook only talks about one. There are 2 ways. I want to know from you, what do we mean or what will you do if I ask you to measure arc AXB? क्या करेंगे? अगर मैं एक लाइन दे देता तो you would have taken a scale and measured the length of the line. अगर मैं आपको बैग में कुछ सामान देता, बोलता कि मेजर करो इसमें कितना सामान है, then you would have put the bag on the weighing scale and you would have told me what is the mass, what is the weight of the thing that is there in the bag. But now we have an arc. How will we measure this? No one? One way is just to take the length of the arc. Length. So what we can do is, हम एक धागा लेंगे और उसको A से B के ऊपर रखेंगे. And then we will cut that string, straighten it out, put it on a scale and measure कितना लंबा हुआ. That will be length of the arc. But it is a little bit cumbersome. So there is another way to measure the arc, and that measurement is done with the help of something that is called central angle. It is used. The arc is measured using central angle. So if we are measuring arc AXB, then this is the measure of this arc. This angle is the measure of this arc. So हमने क्या किया? We constructed a radius at the end points of the arc. The end points of the arc are A and B. So we constructed the radius AC and BC. The angle that is made, that is the angle ACB. End point of the arc, center and end point of the arc. This angle is considered to be the measure of the arc, and this angle is called the central angle. Similarly, if I ask you, what is the measure of arc AYB? Can you tell? What will this be? कहां पर है ये एंगल? ऑलरेडी है, बट आई हैव नॉट शोन इट. Yes, you will be able to know. The logic remains same. What are the end points of the arc? Draw the radius and tell me where the angle will be. Okay. I'm not getting any answers. Now this angle here, maybe if we call it, say, alpha. This angle is the measure of this arc. Angle ACB is the same angle, है ना? लेकिन हम इसको ऐसे लिखेंगे, now it is confusing. हमने यहाँ पर भी लिखा ACB, हमने यहाँ पर भी लिख दिया ACB. And that is why we don't write it like this. We will say the measure of arc A by B is 360 degree minus theta. Why did we write 360 degree? Because the total angle of a circle is 360 degree. So if this angle is theta, this is 360 degree minus theta. So the minor arc is just measured with its central angle. The major arc is also measured with its central angle, but it is difficult to write the name of that angle. So we measure it with respect to its minor arc. 360 degree minus minor arc. Measure of minor arc. And that concept is explained on the same page, page number 59, where it talks about major arc, minor arc, and the central angle. So here the angle of the minor arc, or the measure of the minor arc, is theta. So the measure of the major arc will be 360 degrees minus theta. Angle AOB is the central angle. This is a very important angle. We need to know this very, very correctly. One is theta, another one is 360 degree minus theta. And then it says measure of a complete circle is 360 degree. Yes, ये तो हमने बचपन में पढ़ा था. And measure of a semicircular arc, that means measure of a semicircle is 180 degree. Do you agree? Is it correct that the measure of semicircle will be 180 degree? If yes, why do you agree? Total circle, measure of the full circle, arc of the circle is 360 degree. Then why will the semicircle be 180 degrees? Very good, Prachi. It will be 180 degree because semi, आधा, आप ही ने बोला शुरू में, the diameter divides the circle into two parts. So semicircle will be 360 degrees divided by 2 equals to 180 degrees. Very easy, simple concepts. Once we have understood what an arc is and how we measure the arcs, once again, arc is a part of a circle. The arc can be a major arc or a minor arc. If it is a semicircle, then they are equal arcs, no major, no minor. And the measure means uska maap jo hai, we will not use the length. Length of the arc will be used in mensuration, not here. We will measure the arc with respect to the central angle. Central angle is the angle formed by the radius through the endpoints of the arc. Central angle. Then comes the concept of congruence of arcs. Congruence means same congruence. Exactly similar. When we keep something on top of one another, if they cover each other exactly and completely, they will be called congruent. Congruence of arcs means two pieces, two arcs. If we keep one on top of other, They will cover each other completely and exactly. Na kam na jada. Look at this diagram. This is a very interesting diagram. There are two circles. All of you should be able to see. Tell me, what do we call such circles? We studied this when we were revising for this chapter. What do we call such circles with the same center? Concentric circle. Con, same, centric, center. Circles with the same center. They are concentric circles. The center is C. Very clear. The center is C. Now, let us study this. Let us focus on the inner circle, the smaller circle. Ye wala. This arc, the measure of this arc is 40 degrees. Tell me the measure of this arc. What is the measure of this arc?
70.
70 degree is correct. Now if I ask you, अगर मैं इसको नाम दे दूं x and y, are the arcs xy and AB congruent? Do you think they are congruent? Yes or no? If you think they are congruent, say yes.
No.
They are not congruent. It's like मुंह फाड़ा हुआ है ना, हमने मुंह खोला है खाने के लिए, तो कभी हमने कम खोला है, कभी हमने ज्यादा खोला है, तो congruent कैसे हुए? They are not congruent. Let us look at another arc. PQ. This arc. Tell me, which arc is PQ congruent to?
AB.
Yes. And again, remember, we should never name these arcs by just 2 alphabets. We should have used 3. Anyway, yahan pe clear hai. So you are saying that PQ, arc PQ will be congruent to arc AB. Very good. And I think you said this because both have the same measure, 70 degrees. Am I right? इसीलिए कहा आपने कि कोई और कारण. Why did you say that PQ will be congruent to AB? What is the reason? Waiting to know.
70 degree.
70 degrees. Okay. Okay. Good. Because the measure is the same, because the central angle is the same. But okay. Now let us make it interesting. Now, let us look at the arc GF. Don't get confused. We are looking at arc GF and we will look at arc AB. If I ask you, what is the measure of arc AB? What will be your answer? AB is of a smaller circle. Yes, beta, फिर से बोलिए. 70 degrees. Yes, correct. And if I ask you, what is the measure of the arc GF, which is part of the outer circle?
140.
It is not 140.
70 degree.
Yes, it is the same 70 degrees. GF, arc GF, the endpoints are G and F. We have drawn the radius CG and CF. And the angle is 70 degree. So both arcs have the same measure, 70 degree. Now here comes the important question. Is arc GF congruent to the arc AB? Yes or no?
Yes.
हाँ? मुझे सुनाई नहीं दिया, फिर से बोलो. You can clearly see and tell. If you're not seeing, then you will not be able to tell. Look at the diagram. If we keep AB on GF, will it cover it completely and exactly? If it will, then
Yes.
no, it is not. AB is much shorter. They are not congruent. Who is saying they are congruent? If you are saying they are congruent, please a thumb up. And if you are saying they are not congruent, then a thumb down. One person is saying not congruent. One person is saying, Aman is saying they are congruent. Okay. I hope all of you realize that one circle is much bigger than the other circle. ये अगर हमने ये ऐसे मुंह खोला हुआ है तो यहाँ का एरिया, यहाँ का आर्क और यहाँ का आर्क कैसे कॉन्ग्रुएंट है? नहीं है. They are not congruent. And the important point to note here is that although the measure of the arcs are same, they are not congruent. So there is something else that we are missing. What is that something else? What is that something else? You know, if you look at the picture, if you look at the diagram, you will know. The measure of the angle is just one part. There is something else that is different. I'm telling you again and again and again, they are part of two different circles. So what is different between them? Prachi is saying size. So what refers to the size of a circle? What measure is used to refer to the size of a circle? It's the radius that is different. It is the radius that is different. For arc AB, the radii are here A, AC and BC. But for the GF arc, the radius, the radii are GC and FC. So although the measure of the arcs are same, they are not congruent because the radii are different. Whereas this arc, we called it PQ, was congruent to the arc AB because both the radii and the measures were same. And this is the condition for congruence of arcs. Two arcs are said to be congruent, two arcs will be congruent if and only if both their measures and radius are same. अगर इसमें से एक भी कोई अगर अलग हो जाएगा, then the arcs will not be congruent. So what we understand from this is, two arcs are congruent if their measures and radii are equal. Both have to be same, their measures and their radii. The circles have to be of the same size and the central angles also have to be same. Only then the arcs will be congruent. So Prachi used the word size. So size refers, size is, we measure the size of a circle by its radius. Okay. Another property, which is property of sum of measures of arcs. Another interesting thing, very easy thing, very, very, very easy. Now we have a circle. हमने इसका center नहीं दिखाया है. So let us first show the center clearly. Suppose the center is O. And then let us see some measures of the arcs. I have drawn the radii so that we can measure the arcs. We can call this theta. We can assume this is theta. This is alpha. So just for our convenience, measure of arc BC. equals to theta, and measure of arc CD equals to alpha. If I ask you what will be the measure of arc, ध्यान से देखो, measure of arc BCD, what will be the measure? आप सबको ये पता है, इसमें कुछ मेरे पढ़ाने के लिए है ही नहीं. What will be the measure?
(360° minus theta).
No, beta. We need not go to that extent.
Theta plus beta.
Anushka, correct. Anushka, correct. It's very simply, it is theta plus alpha. BCD मतलब ये पूरा कितना हुआ? अल्फा प्लस थीटा, थीटा प्लस अल्फा. इसमें क्या ही है? और साइड साइड में है ना, एडजेसेंट है. So the measure of adjacent arcs will be sum of the measures of the arcs. So after we have understood arc, major arc, minor arc, central angle, measure of an arc, congruent arc, and sum of the measure of arcs, we have a theorem. And that theorem, we have learned this theorem in class 7, I guess, class 7. It says the chords corresponding to congruent arcs of a circle are congruent. The chords corresponding to congruent arcs of a circle are congruent. क्या मतलब है इसका? Let us take an example. We have a circle with center P. And we have two arcs APC and arc DEQ, which are congruent. I'm sure you are able to see the arcs in the diagram, APC and DEQ. They are congruent. Then the theorem says the chords corresponding to the arcs. Chords will be the part of the secant which is inside the circle. So AC is a chord, DE is a chord. The theorem says because AC is congruent to DE, because not AC, because arc APC is congruent to arc DQE, the chord AC is congruent to chord DE. माने ये they are congruent. ये prove करना है. दिया क्या है? That APC is congruent to DQE. And this can be proved by congruence of triangles that we studied last year. SAS, SSS, ASA, AAS, HS, all the tests. So if you look at triangle ABC and triangle DBE, the triangles formed by the chords and the radii. AB is congruent to DB. ये कहाँ है AB? AB and DB. Why are they congruent? They are the radii of same circle. Can you tell me two more sides of the triangles which are congruent because of the same reason?
BC and BE.
BC and BE.
Very good. BC and BE. Same reason. Also, finally, we have studied just now that if the chords are congruent, that means they will have the same measure. अभी हमने पढ़ा ना? Congruent chords mean same measure and the same radius. That means these angles are same because it is said that the chords are congruent. Now tell us, which test are we using? Now we can say that the triangles are congruent, but by which test?
SAS.
Yes, it is correct. SAS test. Side angle side. AB side corresponding to DB side. Angle ABC corresponding to angle DBE, angle. Huh? So this is a side, this is an angle, this is a side. SAS. अगर मैं इसको लिखता तो पहले इसको लिखता, फिर इसको लिखता, फिर इसको लिखता. SAS test. And because these two triangles are congruent, then the remaining side, which is AC and DE, they will also be congruent because of congruent sides of the corresponding sides of congruent triangles. CSCT. Proved. हो गया. हमको दिया था that arc APC and arc DQE are congruent. हमको prove करना था that the chords corresponding to them are congruent. हो गया proof. So we drew the chords, we drew the triangles using the radii. We used congruence of to prove that the chords are congruent. The theorem says the chords corresponding to congruent arcs of a circle or congruent circles. This is important. कि जरूरी नहीं है that these two arcs APC and DQE are of the same circle. They can be part of two different circles also. But as long as the two circles are congruent, circles will be congruent when their radii are congruent. तो एक ही सर्कल के दो आर्क हो या फिर दो अलग अलग congruent सर्कल के दो आर्क हो, this will be applicable. If we have two congruent circles, the arcs may not be part of the same circle. If we have two congruent circles, so अगर मान लो ऐसा है, दोनों circle, assume that they have the same radius. So here we have center C1, center C2. Then if we have two arcs, right? So AB, CD. Now if AXB is congruent to CYD, if and our radii are same, that means AC1 is equal to CC2. If this is the case, then AB is congruent to CD. Because these are chords, line segments, we can also say equals to instead of writing congruent to. Both are same. तो वो एक ही सर्कल में हो या फिर congruent सर्कल के हो, the logic applies. Now let us look at the converse of the same theorem. The converse says corresponding arcs of congruent chords. Corresponding arcs of congruent chords of a circle are congruent. पहले क्या था theorem? If the arcs are congruent, then the chords are congruent. यहाँ पे बोला है if the chords are congruent, then the arcs are congruent. Corresponding arcs of congruent chords are congruent. So once again, we have a circle with center O. Okay? And we have two chords PQ and RS which are congruent. Chords से start हुए. So it is given that PQ is congruent to RS. We have to prove that PMQ is congruent to SNR or RNS. Okay? कैसे करेंगे? इसका प्रूफ नहीं लिखा. Hints दिए हैं. Consider the following statements and write the proof. Two arcs are congruent if their measures and radii are equal. Arc PMQ and arc RNS are arcs of the same circle, hence they have equal radii. इतना क्यों हम कॉम्प्लिकेट कर रहे हैं? देखो अभी. We know that PQ is congruent to SO, radii of the same circle. We know OQ is congruent to OR. Once again, radii of the same circle. तो मैंने क्या कहा? OP is congruent to OS, OQ is congruent to OR, और दिया हुआ क्या है? PQ is congruent to RS. Using these three, can I say that triangle PQR, or no, not PQR, POR, POQ is congruent to triangle ROS? Can I say that? And if I can, then what test? What test can I use to say that these two triangles are similar? Really, Chan, हमने यहाँ पर एक भी एंगल यूज किया है? AAS आपने कहा नहीं, तो that is not possible. Akhilesh, do you think there are two things on the screen now? I have mentioned three things. Yes, Chan, now it is correct. The test that we are using is S, S, and S. Now, because these two triangles are congruent, then the corresponding angles will also be congruent. So this angle will be equal to this angle. Now we have a situation where the arcs PQ, PMQ, and RNS, they have the same measure because their central angles are same. Also, their radii are same. PO, OQ, OR, OS. That means they are congruent. Proved. इस तरीके से लिखना पड़ता है. Hands or thumbs. देखो, देखो, समझो. No maths here. Okay. Practice set 3.3, question number 1. There is a circle in figure 3.37. Points G, D, E, F are concyclic. New word, concyclic. Con means same, cyclic means on the same circle. Are concyclic points of a circle with center C. With center C. ECF equals to 70 degrees. This angle is 70 degrees. Arc DGF. DGF. So this arc, this angle is 200 degrees. We have to find the measure of arc DE. बता दो जल्दी से ये कितना होगा? Calculate and tell. Quickly. Chand is saying 90 degrees is correct. Why? Because total circle is 360. उसमें से 270 are gone. So that remains, leaves us with 360 degree minus 200 minus 70, which is 90 degrees. This is correct. Now tell me, what is the measure of arc DEF? माने ये कितना आसान है, जल्दी से। DEF is 160 degree, correct. Why? 90 और 70 सम हुआ ना, adjacent arcs. How easy the questions are. Let us look at another question. इसमें स्टार लगा दिया, डरने की जरूरत नहीं. In figure 3.38, triangle QRS is an equilateral triangle. What is the meaning of an equilateral triangle? Who can tell me? Two things you need to tell me about equilateral triangle. One thing is not enough, but yes, try. कम से कम एक ही बता दो. Chand is saying equal sides. So Chand, I think what you are saying is equilateral triangles have all the sides of the same measure. Yes, that's one. What's the other thing? What's the other thing about equilateral triangles? और यहीं पे बच्चे घबरा जाते हैं. Come on, I know you know the answer. Equilateral triangles also have all the angles congruent to each other. Right? Both the sides will be equal to each other, so will the angles be. Now we can answer this. So, because the triangle QRS is an equilateral triangle, we can say that these sides are of the same length, and these sides happen to be chords of a circle. Now we have to prove that arc RS, arc QS, arc QR कहाँ है ये? QR, RS, QS ये congruent है, होगा ही ना? हमने कहा if the arcs are congruent then the corresponding chords are congruent, and the converse, if the chords are congruent then the corresponding arcs are congruent. Proof क्या करना है? बस इतना ही लिखना है. Corresponding arcs of congruent chords, that is the reason. Corresponding chords of corresponding arcs of congruent chords. And how do we know that they are congruent chords? Because it is an equilateral triangle. Because they are equilateral triangle, our QR is equal to RS is equal to QS. From here, we can say corresponding arcs of congruent chords. Next one is interesting. We have to prove that the measure of arc QRS. Let me clear the screen a bit and then show QRS. कैसे दिखाएंगे? We have to prove that this angle is 240 degrees. We may not know this angle, but we definitely know this angle. Do we know this angle? Who will tell me how much is this angle? How can we calculate this angle? We know this angle. $120. Yes. क्यों हुआ 120 degree? Now imagine another radius. Now, because the chords are congruent, the arcs are congruent. Because the arcs are congruent, that means their measures are also congruent. If I draw it again, we are given that the sides are same. Because the sides of the triangles are same, then the chords are same. Because the chords are congruent, the arcs are congruent. Arcs congruent means both their radii and measures are same. Radii are this OQ, OR, OS. If we name the center as O. Measures क्या होंगे? ये और ये दोनों सेम है. मतलब 360 को हमने 3 में बांट दिया इक्वल पार्ट्स, which is 120 degrees. तो ये भी 120 है. This is also 120. This is also 120. अगर ये हमको पूछा है, that is 120 plus 120 equals to 240. यही हमको प्रूफ करना था. Example number 2, solved example on page number 63. There is a rectangle inscribed in a circle. Inscribed मतलब उसके अंदर में बना हुआ. Such that the vertices of a rectangle are on the circle. That this is the meaning of inscribed in a circle with center T. With center T. Now we will be able to answer this question if we understand what a rectangle is. अभी हम equilateral triangle समझ रहे थे. Now rectangle. So rectangle is a quadrilateral. Rectangle is a parallelogram. Rectangle is a special parallelogram in which all the angles are congruent. And because it is a parallelogram, its opposite sides are congruent, parallel, both. We have to prove that arc PQ is congruent to arc RS. किसके बारे में पूछ रहा है? इस आर्क और इस आर्क के बारे में पूछ रहा है. We have to prove this. Remember, we have only learned one new theorem today. That the theorem is, if the arcs are congruent, then the corresponding chords are congruent. If the chords are congruent, then the corresponding arcs are congruent, converse of each other. Here we are being asked to prove that the arcs are congruent. That means we will have to find some chords that are congruent, and the corresponding chords are here. For the arc PQ, the chord is PQ. For the arc SR, the chord is SR. And we already know that the chords are congruent because it is a rectangle. Opposite sides are congruent. Similarly, we can say that this arc is congruent to this arc because this side is congruent to this side. अब SPQ को ले लें, माने एक go once ये this part and this part, and compare it with this part and this part. Again, they will also be congruent because individual parts are congruent. And that is the proof. So circle and rectangle in this question. Question number 3 of practice set 3.3. It says in figure 3.39, chord AB is congruent to chord CD. AB, the pura chord, is congruent to chord CD. They are intersecting each other. अभी तक intersecting chord नहीं देखा था. Now they are intersecting. We have to prove that chord arc AC is congruent to arc BD. Okay. So once again, हमको बोला है to prove that two arcs are congruent. So if we have to prove that arcs are congruent, हमको जाना पड़ेगा उनके chords पे. If we can go to the chords and if we can prove that the chords are congruent, then we will be able to prove that the arcs are congruent. But where are these AC and BD? अच्छा, यहाँ है, ये AC है, ये BD है. If AB is congruent to CD, उसका मतलब है from here, arc ACB, AB पे जो आर्क बना, आर्क ACB will be congruent to आर्क, बताओ तुम कौन सा, CD पे कौन सा आर्क बनेगा? What can I write now? Because AB is congruent to CD, two chords will be congruent. What are those two chords? I have written one chord, chord ACB, which is on chord, which is corresponding to the chord AB. What is the corresponding arc for the chord CD? DCB. No. No, no, no. Usman is saying AD. No, beta. So when we say, Anushka is saying CDB. No, beta. No. Correct, Fiza. DBC you can say. DBC you can definitely say. So when we say arc AB, a chord AB, तो हमने ये लिया, ये वाला arc लिया. Now when we are saying chord CD, तो हम ये वाला arc लेंगे. Now this arc can be written as arc CBD or DBC. No other way. है ना? और इन दोनों में कुछ कॉमन है. द कॉमन इज आर्क BC. मतलब अगर मैं दोनों तरफ से इस आर्क को माइनस कर दूं, ACB से BC को हटा दूं और CBD से भी BC को हटा दूं, तो क्या बचेगा? AC एंड DB. हो गया प्रूफ. दे आर कॉन्ग्रुएंट. Hands or thumbs? Confirm that this is clear. So we will stop here. You will complete your usual homework, which will be completing the theorems, their proofs, writing the theorems and proofs, solving the solved examples in your notebook, and solving the questions of practice set 3.3. Complete and submit latest by tomorrow